Boeing currently has a sizable backlog of airplanes on order. The US plane maker has 5,070 aircraft on order yet to date at the time of this recording, to be delivered as the end of July 2021. We take a look at the largest unfilled orders to see which customers are anticipating the most Boeing aircraft over the coming years. The largest unfilled orders are naturally attributed not to one customer, but to many. Some orders are made without the customers being revealed, and these show up on Boeing's order books as unidentified or unlisted customers. These could be potential commercial airlines or leasing firms, but they are yet still ready to disclose that they are purchasing these aircraft. We won't know who is behind them for sure until these airlines disclose that they have ordered the jets. The very largest outstanding order on Boeing's book is for the 737 MAX generation, with 689 units ordered by several unidentified customers. However, this is likely to be a group of customers rather than just one. So we'll have to leave it up to you whether you want to decide if this counts as an order. Unidentified customers also have outstanding orders for the 787-9 of 43 units, the Dash 10, 18 units, the 777 Freighter, 10 units, and the 777X, 10 units. Also in there are 8787-8s and 6767-300 freighters, two 747-800s, and single units of the 777-300ER, the 747-8, and the 747-700. The largest unfilled order on Boeing's books for a named customer is the huge 380 aircraft outstanding 737 MAX order for United Airlines. The airline made waves earlier this year when it placed the largest order in its aircraft history, and the biggest by a single carrier in more than a decade. In June, it ordered a total of 270 aircraft for its fleet renewal, as well as 70 A321neos. The order contained an additional 200 737 MAX order, combined the existing order that took the airline's commitment for the new generation of 737 to a total of 380 aircraft, together with the 30 that they had already been delivered by the time of this order. This will give the airline an eventual fleet of 410 aircraft of the 737 MAX generation. United is the launch customer of the MAX 10 variant of the 737, having first placed the order back in 2017 when it converted its 100 MAX 9 order to the large variant. Clearly, the airline feels confident about the type, as 150 of its June order was for the Dash 10, with just 50 for the smaller MAX 8. If there's an airline that goes hand in hand with the 737 family, it's Southwest. A long time the all Boeing 737 operator, the MAX was the natural progression for these low carriers. Unfortunately for the airline, this meant that it was one of the worst hit when the plane was grounded. As the big operator of the 737 MAX, Southwest lost a significant amount of capacity at the point of grounding. While 34 aircraft out of a fleet of more than 700 doesn't sound like much to be honest, it played havoc with the airline's plans in mid-2019 as the airline pulled the MAX from its schedules through 2020. It said the effect was that rather than a capacity growth of 5% in 2019, it would instead end the year with a contraction of 1 to 2%. Nevertheless, the carrier has remained committed to the new generation of 737 MAX aircraft and welcomed it back with open doors its approval to fly in late 2020. Since then, the airline has boosted its orders by 100 aircraft in March, and then by another 34 in June. As of now, it has a fleet of 68 737 MAX 8s in operation, and another 370 yet to be delivered, mixed between the MAX 8 and MAX 7 variations of the type. As of one of the two airlines to be directly impacted by the tragic MAX crashes Lion Air's future with the type was looking incredibly uncertain when the type was cleared to fly in November last year by the FAA. Several of the victims' families spoke out saying they believe it was still too soon to unground the plane. Nevertheless, the type is allowed to fly, and Boeing still has an outstanding order for 247 737 MAX orders on its books. The outstanding order includes 10 MAX 8s, 4 MAX 9s, 50 MAX 10s. The rest of its commitment is not allocated to a specific variant as of yet. Vietjet announced an order for the 737 MAX in February 2019, just before the grounding of the type. It firmed an order for 80 737 MAX 10s and 20 of the MAX 8s. It had already committed to 100 737 MAX previously, boosting its order to 200 at the type. As of now, the airline still has not taken delivery of any of its outstanding orders. Data from CH Aviation suggests that they will start arriving in 2022 and onwards. Interestingly, Vietjet has specified 28 of its 737 MAX 8 orders to the Ryanair game-changer aircraft. The 737 MAX 8-200, the specially super dense aircraft, was specially designed for the low-cost market and features an extra exit door to accommodate additional passengers. Speaking of Ryanair, the devil itself, the European low-cost carrier airline rounds off the list of the biggest unfilled orders on Boeing books. As mentioned, it has pioneered the development of a specific variant, the 737 MAX 8, which accommodates more passengers than the standard version in an extra dense layout. The airline had been keen to get its hands on the aircraft since the CEO, Michael O'Leary, likes to call the game changer. It was expecting to have several in service in time for summer of 2019, but as the grounding hit, it became clear it would not be able to take delivery. Summer 2020 came and went too, but the airline remained committed for the next generation aircraft, so much so that it even placed an order for 75 more before EASA had ungrounded the type or had taken a single delivery. Ryanair's MAX will come in 3 deliveries. Finally, in April this year, the MAX 8-200 received the type certification from the FAA. Days later, EASA approved the type for operations, opening the door for deliveries to Ryanair to begin. Eventually, in June, the first 737 MAX for Ryanair left Seattle, and by the end of that month, the airline had operated its first revenue flight. According to CH Aviation, the airlines now has a total of 12 737 MAX in its fleet. Boeing's order book states that its expected deliveries of a further 199. It's probably no big surprise that narrow bodies make up the bulk of Boeing's unfilled order books. However, there are some sizable wide body orders in there too. The largest is the 777X orders for Emirates, which currently stands at 115 aircraft. Qatar 777X orders come in second with 60 aircraft. Emirates 777X order is the largest unfilled wide-body order. Interestingly, the 767 is still hanging about, although not for a passenger use. BDS USAF tanker program is awaiting deliveries of 50 Boeing 767-2C aircraft, a modified version of the 767, also known as the KC-46, which can be used for aerial refueling, as well as carrying passengers, cargo, and patients. Major cargo airlines FedEx is also anticipating 43 767-300Fs to be delivered. Notably absent from the biggest unfilled orders is the Boeing Dreamliner family. There are some sizable orders outstanding, but not in the realms of its narrow-body cousins. The largest belongs to Emirates, with awaiting 30 new 787-9s. American Airlines is down for a further 25-9s, and Qatar for 23. Are you surprised by the largest outstanding order on Boeing's book? Let me know your thoughts.